Top 10. Jackie Kennedy. Scandalous secrets you won't believe. Did you know that behind the glamour and grace of Jackie Kennedy lies a story of scandal, political power plays, and personal sacrifices that few truly understand? From her shocking decision to call off her engagement before marrying JFK, to the dark secrets surrounding her life after his assassination, Jackie's story is more complex than most people realize. And what about Lyndon B. Johnson's bold policies and the controversies that nearly cost him his presidency? Stay tuned as we dive deep into the shocking truths about these legendary figures. Comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive insights on legends of Black excellence. Jackie Kennedy. Jacqueline Lee Bouvier Kennedy. Onassis, known as Jackie Kennedy, was more than just the First Lady of the United States. She was a symbol of grace, sophistication, and resilience. Born on July 28, 1929 in Southampton, New York, Jackie came from a prominent, well-established family. Her early education, which included prestigious schools like Vassar College and the Sorbonne in Paris, formed the foundation of her intellectual curiosity and cultural appreciation. Before stepping into the political limelight, Jackie worked as a photographer and journalist, contributing to Washington Times Herald. This experience honed her communication skills, and it was during this period that she crossed paths with Richard Nixon, interviewing him years before her future husband, John F. Kennedy, would defeat him in the presidential election. This exposure to politics gave her a deeper understanding of the issues that would later shape her time in the White House. In 1953, Jackie married John F. Kennedy, a union that thrust her into the public eye. As First Lady, she became an international-style icon known for her tailored suits, pillbox hats, and refined elegance. Yet beneath her chic exterior, Jackie faced personal battles, including the challenges of being under constant media scrutiny and her own struggles with the intense demands of political life. After her husband's assassination in 1963, Jackie's life took another unexpected turn. She married Greek shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis in 1968, a move that brought further public attention. Although their marriage was frequently in the media spotlight, Jackie continued to maintain an aura of mystery and elegance. In the years following Onassis's death in 1975, Jackie reinvented herself yet again. She became an editor for Viking Press, showing her intellectual prowess in the literary world. Her legacy is not just tied to her role as First Lady, but also to her ability to navigate immense personal and professional challenges with poise and resilience, leaving a lasting mark on American culture and history. John F. Kennedy. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, often referred to as JFK, was the 35th President of the United States, serving from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. Born on May 29, 1917 in Brookline, Massachusetts, he was part of the politically influential Kennedy family. JFK's early education included Harvard University, where he developed a passion for history, politics, and international relations, which would later define his presidency. Before his time in the White House, Kennedy served as a U.S. Senator from Massachusetts and as a naval officer during World War II. His service during the war earned him the Navy and Marine Corps Medal, among others, when his PT boat was attacked by the Japanese. His political career was marked by his youthful energy, and his eloquence and charm won the hearts of Americans, especially during his 1960 presidential campaign, where he famously faced Richard Nixon in the first televised presidential debates. Kennedy's presidency was defined by the Cold War, and he faced monumental challenges, including the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, which brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. His leadership during this crisis is often credited with preventing global catastrophe. JFK's domestic policies, including his commitment to civil rights and space exploration, also left a lasting legacy with the Apollo program, eventually landing a man on the moon in 1969. Tragically, Kennedy's presidency was cut short when he was assassinated on November 22, 1963, while riding in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas. His death shocked the world and left a profound impact on American politics and culture. Despite his brief time in office, Kennedy remains a beloved figure in history, remembered for his youthful vision, his call for public service, and his unyielding pursuit of a better future for America. Ron Galella. Ron Galella, born on January 10, 1931 in New York City, was one of the most infamous paparazzi photographers of the 20th century. He rose to prominence in the 1960s and 1970s, capturing intimate and often intrusive photographs of celebrities, particularly those in the world of Hollywood. Galella's relentless pursuit of stars, however, was not without controversy, as his most famous subject was none other than Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, who became the target of his obsessive attention. Galella's obsession with Jackie Kennedy began in the 1970s, after her marriage to Greek shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis. His relentless efforts to photograph the former First Lady became a media sensation. He trailed her everywhere, capturing her while she shopped, walked in Central Park, or simply enjoyed her private life. His pursuit of Jackie O became so invasive that she took legal action against him in 1972, filing a lawsuit for harassment. The case went to court, and in a landmark decision, the court ruled in her favor, ordering Galella to stay a certain distance away from her and her children. The court's ruling, however, did little to stop his aggressive tactics, and Galella continued to stalk her, later making a name for himself as one of the most controversial photographers in the world. Galella's fixation on Jackie O was so intense that he reportedly carried around a measuring tape to ensure he kept the required legal distance between them. His actions sparked debates over the ethical boundaries of celebrity photography and the right to privacy. His pursuit of Jackie, along with his other aggressive encounters with celebrities, ultimately led to a reputation as one of the most notorious figures in the paparazzi industry. While his behavior was widely criticized, Galella's impact on the world of celebrity photography cannot be denied. His photos of Jackie O, along with images of other major public figures, are still widely circulated today. He remains a polarizing figure, both a pioneer in celebrity photography and a symbol of the ethical dilemmas that arise when personal privacy meets public curiosity. Galella's career was both groundbreaking and deeply controversial, cementing his place in the history of modern celebrity culture. Richard Nixon. Richard Milhous Nixon, the 37th President of the United States, is remembered for both his significant achievements and the dramatic downfall that led to his resignation. Born on January 9, 1913 in Yorba Linda, California, Nixon's rise in politics was marked by his sharp intellect and his ability to navigate the complexities of both domestic and foreign policy. Nixon's political career began in the House of Representatives in 1947, and he quickly gained national recognition for his aggressive stance against communism during the Red Scare, particularly with his involvement in the Alger Hiss case. He served as vice president under Dwight D. Eisenhower from 1953 to 1961, where he gained extensive foreign policy experience, particularly with the Soviet Union and China. His trip to China in 1972 marked a pivotal moment in American diplomacy, paving the way for the eventual normalization of relations between the two nations. In 1968, Nixon was elected president, and his first term saw a combination of domestic and foreign policy successes, such as the establishment of the Environmental Protection Agency and the reduction of U.S. military involvement in Vietnam. However, his second term was overshadowed by the Watergate scandal, a political crisis that ultimately led to his resignation on August 9, 1974, making him the only U.S. president to resign from office. The scandal involved a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the subsequent cover-up leading to investigations that uncovered deep corruption within Nixon's administration. Though his presidency ended in scandal, Nixon's legacy is also marked by important achievements such as the opening of China, the end of the Vietnam War, and his contributions to foreign policy. His complex character, marked by both significant accomplishments and a notorious fall from grace, has made Nixon a subject of deep reflection in American political history. John Husted. John Husted, a name that is often overlooked in the story of Jacqueline Kennedy's early life, was a significant figure during a brief chapter in her romantic history. Born into an affluent family, Husted was a Yale graduate and a Wall Street banker with a promising career ahead of him. At the time of their engagement, Jackie was a young, ambitious woman eager to pursue a life that extended beyond the conventional expectations of a woman in the 1950s. In 1952, at the age of 22, she became engaged to Husted, a match that seemed ideal on paper. Their engagement, announced in the Washington Times-Herald, sparked public interest as it marked a step towards a traditional life for the daughter of a wealthy family. However, Jackie soon began to question the prospect of a life confined to the roles of wife and mother roles, which were expected of women in society during that time, particularly those marrying into affluent circles. Feeling that this was not the life she envisioned for herself, she made the bold decision to call off the engagement after just 2 months. This marked the beginning of her independence, allowing her to explore other paths that would ultimately lead her to meeting John F. Kennedy, a man who shared her intellectual curiosity and ambition. Although Husted may have been a mere footnote in the story of Jackie's romantic life, his brief involvement with her illustrated her desire to break away from the constraints of tradition and carve out a life that would allow her to grow into the powerful and iconic figure she became. His role in her early life served as a pivotal moment leading her toward the future that would change the course of American history. Oleg Cassini. Oleg Cassini, an Italian-born American fashion designer, is most famously known for his association with Jacqueline Kennedy, whom he styled as First Lady of the United States. Cassini, born in Paris in 1926, moved to the United States in the late 1940s, where he became one of the most prominent designers of the mid-20th century. His connection with Jackie Kennedy began in 1961 during her husband John F. Kennedy's presidential campaign. Jackie Kennedy, already a style icon, faced public criticism for her preference for French couture, particularly her love for designers like Chanel and Dior. Critics were concerned that her luxurious taste in clothing, especially French haute couture, would alienate the working-class voters that the Kennedy campaign aimed to appeal to. In response to this, Jackie's father-in-law, Joseph Kennedy, intervened, connecting her with Cassini to create a more American, yet still sophisticated wardrobe. Cassini's designs for Jackie became a defining feature of her public persona, reflecting both her elegance and the American spirit. His creations included the famous A-line dresses, tailored coats, and chic evening gowns, all of which were practical yet refined. He was credited with transforming Jackie's wardrobe into one that was stylish and modern, yet still relatable to the American people. Over the years, he designed over 300 outfits for Jackie, ensuring that her public image remained polished and poised. Cassini's influence extended beyond just the First Lady. He became known as the Secretary of Style in the Kennedy administration, shaping not just Jackie's image but also the broader aesthetic of the time. Through his partnership with Jackie, Oleg Cassini cemented his place in fashion history, with his designs continuing to inspire and define American fashion for years to come. Joseph Kennedy. Joseph Patrick Kennedy Sr. was a man of extraordinary ambition, a complex figure whose influence shaped not only his own family but also the political landscape of the United States. Born on September 6, 1888 in Boston, Massachusetts, Joseph Kennedy rose from humble beginnings to become a wealthy businessman, ambassador, and influential political figure. Known for his sharp mind and ruthless business tactics, he amassed a fortune in banking, real estate, and the film industry. Kennedy's ambition extended far beyond personal wealth. He became the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom from 1938 to 1940, a position that brought him into contact with world leaders during a tumultuous period leading up to World War II. However, his tenure as ambassador was marked by controversy, especially due to his isolationist views regarding the war and his praise for British appeasement policies. His stance led to tensions with both the Roosevelt administration and other prominent figures, and he was ultimately recalled from his post. Despite his political missteps, Joseph Kennedy's greatest legacy lies in his children, whom he pushed to positions of power and prominence. His son, John F. Kennedy, would go on to become the 35th President of the United States, while his other children, including Robert F. Kennedy and Edward M. Kennedy, also became influential figures in American politics. Kennedy's ambitions for his children were often seen as part of his grand vision for the family, believing that they could shape the future of the nation. His relationships with his children, however, were not without controversy, as his ruthless drive for success sometimes overshadowed their personal lives. Joseph Kennedy's legacy is one of both triumph and tragedy. While he built an unparalleled political dynasty, his personal life was marked by personal loss, including the death of his son Joseph Jr. during World War II and the eventual assassination of John F. Kennedy. His complex personality, characterized by a blend of ambition, pragmatism, and controversy, continues to be a subject of fascination in American history. Charles Collingwood. Charles Collingwood was an American journalist and television personality best known for his role in broadcasting Jackie Kennedy's legendary televised White House tour. Born on September 3, 1917 in New York City, Collingwood was a highly respected figure in the world of journalism and broadcasting. He gained national recognition as a CBS correspondent, covering major global events and conducting interviews with prominent figures. Collingwood's most famous moment came in 1962 when he was selected to host a special broadcast for CBS, guiding viewers through the newly renovated White House. At the time, Jackie Kennedy had initiated a major restoration of the White House, seeking to return it to its historical roots and reintroduce it as a symbol of American heritage. The televised tour was not just about showcasing the rooms and antiques. It was an opportunity for Jackie Kennedy to express her deep knowledge and appreciation of history, art, and culture. The special aired on February 14, 1962, and captivated an audience of over 80 million viewers. During the broadcast, Collingwood interviewed Jackie as she eloquently described the historical significance of each room and the importance of preserving the nation's history. Jackie's soft-spoken yet compelling narration helped elevate the White House renovation into a cultural milestone. The tour also provided a rare, intimate glimpse into the private life of the First Lady, allowing Americans to see beyond the political stage and connect with Jackie on a personal level. Collingwood's role in the broadcast was integral, as his thoughtful and respectful questioning allowed Jackie Kennedy to shine as the poised and knowledgeable First Lady she was. The success of the televised White House tour was a testament to the growing role of television in shaping American politics and public perception, and it cemented Collingwood's place in history as the voice behind one of the most iconic moments in American television history. Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, was a man of immense political skill, marked by both dramatic achievements and controversies. Born on August 27, 1908 in Stonewall, Texas, Johnson came from humble beginnings. His early career was shaped by his deep connection to Texas, where he worked as a teacher, then a congressional aide, before moving on to his political career as a U.S. representative and senator. He served as vice president under John F. Kennedy and ascended to the presidency in 1963 following the assassination of Kennedy. Johnson's presidency is remembered for his ambitious legislative agenda, particularly the Great Society program, which aimed to eliminate poverty and racial injustice. Among his landmark achievements were the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and Medicare and Medicaid, which transformed American healthcare. His commitment to social reform marked a defining characteristic of his presidency. However, Johnson's legacy is also complicated by the Vietnam War, which escalated during his time in office. His decision to increase U.S. involvement in Vietnam led to widespread protests and polarized public opinion. The war overshadowed many of his domestic achievements and contributed to his decision not to seek re-election in 1968. His time in office therefore stands as a period of both significant progress and profound division within the United States. Despite the controversies, Johnson's leadership left an indelible mark on American politics, reshaping the nation's domestic policies and advancing civil rights while navigating the turbulent waters of Cold War diplomacy. His political savvy and tenacity in pushing through major reforms solidified his place in history as one of the most influential figures in 20th century American politics. Lady Bird Johnson. Claudia, Alta Lady Bird. Johnson, wife of Lyndon B. Johnson, is often remembered as a first lady who used her position to create lasting change, particularly in the realm of environmentalism. Born on December 22, 1912 in Karnak, Texas, Lady Bird grew up in a family of wealth and influence. She attended the University of Texas, where she earned a degree in journalism, and she met Lyndon Johnson in 1934. Their marriage, which took place in 1934, proved to be one of the most influential partnerships in American political history. Lady Bird became First Lady after her husband's sudden ascension to the presidency in 1963, following John F. Kennedy's assassination. Unlike many First Ladies before her, Lady Bird took an active role in her husband's administration. She became a champion for the beautification of America, advocating for the Highway Beautification Act of 1965, which aimed to reduce roadside billboards and improve the aesthetics of the nation's highways. Her efforts in environmental preservation and beautification led to numerous projects that transformed public spaces and influenced urban planning across the country. In addition to her environmental work, Lady Bird Johnson was deeply involved in civil rights initiatives. She supported the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and became a vocal advocate for improving the lives of disadvantaged Americans. She toured the country speaking on behalf of her husband's policies and creating a more personal connection between the White House and the American people. Lady Bird Johnson also played a vital role in shaping the image of the White House during her tenure. She oversaw the restoration of the White House, making it more accessible and symbolic of American history, and she helped create the White House Conservation Office to preserve the building for future generations. Her contributions extended far beyond her time as First Lady, as she continued her environmental advocacy after leaving the White House. Lady Bird Johnson is remembered as a First Lady who not only supported her husband's presidency, but also used her own platform to leave a positive and lasting impact on the nation's landscape and social policies. Aristotle Onassis. Aristotle, Socrates. Onassis, born on January 15, 1906 in Smyrna, modern-day Izmir, Turkey, was one of the most renowned shipping magnates of the 20th century. Known for his vast fortune and extravagant lifestyle, Onassis made his mark as one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in the world of international shipping. He began his career in the shipping industry after moving to Argentina in the early 1930s, where he initially worked in tobacco, and then in the shipping business, acquiring and managing large numbers of oil tankers. Onassis's rise to prominence was driven by his remarkable business acumen and his ability to navigate international markets, particularly in the post-war period. He famously built one of the largest private shipping fleets in the world, securing lucrative contracts and cementing his place as a global economic power. His wealth allowed him to lead an extravagant lifestyle, purchasing numerous properties and yachts, including the iconic Christina O, a luxury yacht once considered the epitome of opulence. Beyond his business success, Onassis became famous for his high-profile personal life. He married Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, the widow of U.S. President John F. Kennedy, in 1968, after a period of intense public fascination with her. Their marriage made Onassis an international sensation, and his relationship with Jackie, marked by both glamour and public scrutiny, elevated his status to one of the world's most talked-about figures. While his marriage to Jackie Kennedy garnered significant media attention, Onassis's later years were marked by personal tragedy, including the death of his son Alexander in a plane crash in 1973. Onassis's health began to decline shortly thereafter, and he passed away on March 15, 1975, from respiratory failure. Despite his controversial personal life, Onassis remains an enduring figure in history, remembered for his enormous wealth, his role in transforming global shipping, and his connections to some of the world's most prominent public figures. Theodore H. White. Theodore H. White was one of the most renowned American political journalists of the 20th century, best known for his groundbreaking coverage of presidential campaigns and his deep insights into the political landscape. Born on May 6, 1915 in Boston, Massachusetts, White's career spanned several decades, and his reporting helped shape modern political journalism. He attended Harvard University, where he developed a passion for writing and political analysis, eventually becoming a prominent figure in the journalistic world. White's most significant contribution to journalism came through his coverage of American presidential elections. His 1961 book, The Making of the President, 1960, revolutionized political reporting by offering a comprehensive behind-the-scenes look at the 1960 election between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon. The book became a classic of political literature, providing an intimate portrait of the candidates, their strategies, and the media's role in the election process. White's ability to weave together personal narratives and political analysis created a new standard for election reporting, making his work highly influential. White's deep connections with politicians both in the U.S. and abroad allowed him to become one of the most respected voices in political journalism. Over the years, he reported on several presidential campaigns and major political events, offering an insightful and often critical perspective. His influence extended beyond his writing. He was a trusted advisor to many political figures and an authority on American politics. In 1963, White was granted an exclusive interview with Jacqueline Kennedy, in which she shared her thoughts on her late husband's presidency and introduced the metaphor of Camelot to describe his time in office. This interview cemented White's place in history, and his ability to capture the essence of American political life made him one of the most respected journalists of his era. Theodore H. White's legacy lives on as a trailblazer in political journalism, whose work shaped the way modern political reporting is done. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, often referred to as the King of Pop, was a musical prodigy whose influence on music, dance, and culture remains unparalleled. Born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, Jackson's career began at an early age as a member of the Jackson 5, a Motown group formed with his brothers. His early success with the group laid the foundation for a solo career that would ultimately make him one of the most successful and influential artists in history. Jackson's solo career reached its peak with the release of his 1982 album Thriller, which remains the best-selling album of all time. The album featured iconic tracks like Billie Jean, Thriller, and Beat It, showcasing Jackson's unique blend of pop, rock, and R&B influences. His music videos, particularly for songs like Thriller and Smooth Criminal, transformed the music video into an art form influencing the way artists would create and promote their music for decades. Beyond his musical achievements, Jackson was known for his groundbreaking dance moves, including the moonwalk, which became one of the most iconic dance steps in history. His impact on pop culture extended beyond music as he became a global symbol of style innovation and humanitarian efforts. Jackson's charitable contributions were extensive as he supported numerous causes and charities, including children's hospitals, HIV/AIDS research, and environmental causes. Despite his monumental success, Jackson's life was also marked by controversy, including his highly publicized trials and battles with the media. His personal struggles, including accusations of child molestation and his changing appearance due to plastic surgery, overshadowed much of his later career. Yet Jackson's legacy remains intact as one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry, with his music and artistry continuing to inspire new generations of musicians and dancers. Michael Jackson's contributions to music and culture cement his place as one of the greatest artists of all time. Larry Gonick. Larry Gonick is an American cartoonist and writer best known for his work in simplifying complex historical, scientific, and cultural subjects through the medium of comics. Born in 1946, Gonick's innovative approach to storytelling and education made him a beloved figure in both the comic and educational worlds. His most famous work, The Cartoon History of the Universe, first published in 1990, presented world history from the Big Bang to modern times in an engaging, easy-to-understand format, using humor, cartoons, and accessible language to make history fun and approachable. Gonick's work revolutionized the way educational content could be presented, particularly in the realm of nonfiction. By illustrating historical events, scientific concepts, and political movements in comic book format, he made learning interactive and entertaining. His other notable works include The Cartoon History of the United States and The Cartoon Guide to Algebra, which helped students and readers of all ages grasp otherwise complex topics in a lighthearted way. Beyond his historical and educational comics, Gonick also created The Cartoon Guide to Genetics, The Cartoon Guide to Chemistry, and The Cartoon Guide to Physics, further establishing his reputation as a pioneering force in educational comics. His work has earned him acclaim not only for its artistic style, but also for its intellectual rigor and ability to break down intricate subjects for general audiences. Gonick's comic books have been used in classrooms around the world, serving as teaching tools for students learning about everything from physics to the history of humankind. Through his unique ability to blend humor with education, Larry Gonick made significant contributions to both the world of comics and the educational field, proving that learning about history and science could be as engaging as it is informative. Naguib Mahfouz. Naguib Mahfouz, born on December 11, 1911 in Cairo, Egypt, was one of the most celebrated authors of the 20th century and the first Arab writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1988. Mahfouz's literary work spans more than half a century, and his novels, short stories, and plays have earned him a place as one of the giants of modern Arabic literature. His writing is known for its deep exploration of Egyptian society, culture, and politics, often weaving the everyday lives of ordinary Egyptians into his narratives. Mahfouz's early life in Cairo, where he lived in the historic district of Gamaliya, influenced much of his writing. His works often reflect the vibrancy, complexity, and contradictions of Egyptian society. His first major success came with Cairo trilogy comprising Palace Walk, 1956, Palace of Desire, 1957, and Sugar Street, 1957, which chronicles the lives of a Muslim family over several generations in Cairo. The trilogy is considered one of Mahfouz's most important contributions to world literature, blending personal stories with the social and political issues of the time. Throughout his career, Mahfouz explored themes such as existentialism, freedom, and the tensions between tradition and modernity. His work is noted for its portrayal of the struggle between individual desires and the constraints of society. His writing reflects a deep sympathy for the complexities of the human experience and often includes elements of magical realism, especially in his later works. In addition to his literary achievements, Mahfouz's outspoken views on Egyptian politics and society sometimes put him at odds with the government and religious groups. In 1994, he was the target of an assassination attempt by an extremist, which left him severely injured but undeterred. Despite his challenges, Mahfouz continued to write and contribute to the cultural landscape of Egypt until his death in 2006. Mahfouz's influence extends beyond literature. He shaped the way Egyptians and Arabs viewed their own society and their place in the modern world. His works remain a cornerstone of Arabic literature, and his legacy endures as a powerful voice for intellectual and artistic freedom in the Arab world. Jackie Kennedy. Lyndon B. Johnson and their legacies have shaped American history in ways that still resonate today. From Jackie's transformative style and commitment to the preservation of American history in the White House to Lyndon's ambitious policies on civil rights and social reform, their contributions continue to spark conversations about leadership, legacy, and sacrifice. However, how do their actions and decisions impact how we view political leadership today? What do you think about their lasting influence on American politics and culture? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth discussions on the Legends of Black Excellence channel.